highlights, but going back to live action on the field, it is Rayaan Taj to start over number 11. I think you've seen from these youngsters that even though they won't be in the playoffs, but the activity that you've seen from them indicates that they are more than capable of being excellent cricketers, and you want to see that continue. And so on the way here, given the fact that this pair of bowlers, spinners, looks to be playing the part and doing essentially what you need for them to do at the back end of the innings, you're in position here to defend this target. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but in many ways, what you've done has put you in a position of being at least in the game. And let's see what happens the rest of the way here, because Kiran Vade, 19 from 14, Utkarsh Srivastava, 12 from 21. But just being able to work the ball around it in the way that they are, in theory, that could be good enough. But you lose a wicket or two, and of course, you're immediately talking about a different game entirely. But in the meantime, I think the approach that this batting pair is taking at the moment is the right one. Deficit reduced to 55 from 9.2 overs, in other words, 56 balls. And so you actually can win this by scoring at the rate of a run a ball. Cut to backward point, no run. So, do you need wickets? I think the answer to that question is yes. Can you get wickets by building pressure? Yes. And so a string of dot balls would not be the worst thing in the world here from Rayaan Taj and the rest of the bowlers. Knocked him over. Great delivery. I want to see that one again, because I think that's evidence of what the left-hander is trying to do from around the wicket, drifting in, pitching, straightening, and touching the top of middle and off. So let's take a look at that one again when we can, because this is a left-hander's dream, I would imagine. So take a look at with the replay when it comes up. Take a look at this. From around the wicket, drifting in, pitching, and turning, goes past the outside edge. That is a dream delivery. That is what, as a left-handed orthodox bowler, you are trying to do. That is expert stuff from Rayaan Taj. The end of his third over, takes his first wicket, 14 runs conceded in his spell so far. And Michigan Cricket Stars are 69 for 4. Look at this again. Look at the drift and the turn. If we could see that one more time. Drifts in from around the wicket, straightens and goes past the outside edge. And it is certainly drift and turn has a lot to do with it. But how about the length? Look at this. That length, maybe not quite the right angle that we're looking for, but we still have the ability to see how good a bowler Rayaan Taj is. There it is right there, just through him from Rayaan Taj. Drifting in from around the wicket, coming in, it pitches and then turns back this way. That's an exaggerated line that I just drew, but the idea is you want the batter coming forward and then have the ball bite and turn past the outside edge. That's what you're trying to do as a spinner. And maybe we'll pay some more closer attention to that type of, to that delivery after the over is finished, because I think if you're looking for things to build on as a bowling unit, or really as a franchise, you can take that example from that delivery from Rayaan Taj and say, here, this is something that we can work with. And what I want to highlight, you saw the drift and turn, but look where the ball lands. It lands in that range. Look where it lands. You're drawing the batter forward in that range. That's slightly shorter than where I drew, in that range. But in that range, the bowler still is inducing the batter to come forward. Or at best, he's trapping him on the crease. What you don't want is for the batter to be able to go back on the back foot and play you square of the wicket. So that length is as important as both the drift and the turn. So excellent bowling from Rayaan Taj. I think you've seen evidence that this young team has so much to work with for the future. Back to Rayaan Taj for his last over. In the air, down the ground, and this is in the gap, goes away for 4. So after all of that build-up, he gets one just a little too straight. And Utkarsh Srivastava, who's now been there for all of 25 balls, is looking to get out of the doldrums that he believes is in. And I think you'll find that this one is maybe just not quite a bad delivery. But if you have the batter being able to play a cross-batted shot instead of playing with a straight bat, then that tells you that you probably have better options as bowling options. A good comeback delivery there. Quicker and flatter, pushing that one through Rayaan Taj. And with 4 balls remaining in his day, he'll be pleased with his work so far. Just 18 runs conceded, even with that big boundary. And that's worked down the ground. So, on balance, 3 balls remaining in over number 13. Do you find yourself getting worried at all? The required rate is now above 6. In theory, it should not be that you are concerned, but you also don't want to lose any more wickets. 4 wickets down, 77 runs on the board. You need another 47 in the next 45 balls. But the great Jeff Boycott used to say, or says all the time, if you want to realize how precarious a position is, think of the team that's batting as having lost 2 more wickets. And if they lose 2 more wickets here, 77 for 6, make that 78 for 6 after that single, then it's a completely different game. And so if you're Michigan, yes, as of right now, you're probably still favored to win this game, but you don't want to get careless, and you certainly don't want to put yourself in the position where you are tied down by the bowlers again. So we'll pay attention to the way that that develops the rest of the way. Last ball coming up. Down the leg side. And watch umpire Vishnu Pillai here. It's bonus runs. These are runs that you can ill afford to have cost your team. Last ball coming up here in over number 13. The scoreboard is working like madness to get caught up with all the action. I think it's 1 ball left, but the scoreboard says 2. Played back to the bowler himself. In fact, you see umpire Vishnu Pillai there signaling that there is only 1 ball left. So you get to the point where you're looking to get through the remaining 43 balls to keep a team inside 44 runs. That becomes very difficult. Cut and miss from that last ball. End of over number 13. 80 for 4.